Hold on 1 second. Hey, power people. I see that we are connected live on YouTube. I'm waiting for us to connect on Facebook. I have the incredible Janine Ingram here with me. Give us just a minute. I don't know why I decided to do this in the middle of the shadow period of Mercury retrograde. Who said that was a good idea? Taima and Janine, because y'all need this conversation. Here we go. Woo! Hey, power people. Thank you for your patience. We was having some technical things. Oh, Janine, we made it. I have Janine Ingram. Look at the goddess over there. Look at her over there with the earrings, the beautiful glowy skin. And I
Girl,
appreciate my sister Jean and I go back. How many years now? Is it almost 10?
way back 2000, what, 10, 11?
It's crazy. I can't keep up. But we need to have a conversation with you all about the correlation between forgiveness and your cash flow. And actually, this is the second time that Janine and I are doing this because I think it was a couple years ago we were doing a full moon gathering together. She was my guest, and it came up organically in that gathering. And I said, "Oh my God, I got to bring this back to the people because there's so much energy moving, and our emotions are such a potent form of energy that when we lack emotional discipline, put emotional discipline in the chat. When we lack emotional discipline, sometimes we don't realize how that impacts our flow of money. So I had to bring in the millionaire. I had to bring in the mayor of Chicago. I had to bring in the one that's known in these
Come on,
streets.
girl.
The one known in these streets as the
Yes,
millionaire
yes.
shaker. Didn't you just receive an award over in Chicago? Can you tell the people what you was just rewarded with from your community? Because I just think that's so awesome.
Oh my God. I was awarded with the U.S. Presidential Leadership Community Award
Oh
and
my
the
God.
Queen's Award. And let me tell you, I wish I had brought, you got to follow with Spirit. Spirit say, take your award with you. And I said,
Yes.
it's a crystal award with a crown on it. That was the Queen Award. And it's so, and I started to put the crown. They crowned us with these Queen crowns. And I tell you, it was so beautiful. And then I was
You so
nominated
deserve it.
for the Joe Biden U.S. Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award.
I love it. I love it. You so deserve it.
Yes, I was
One
so
thing that your
excited.
community can count on is for you being present, you providing resources, you providing inspiration and empowerment. I love that that's what you're known for. So, y'all put congratulations, Janine, in the chat. Put it in the comments because our sister is over there in the city just being a blessing, just being a
Girl.
blessing to all the people. And I'm so happy. Congratulations. I want to see that dress, though. I do need to see that dress. I want some
Oh,
pictures.
girl. You want to see the dress? Okay.
I want, listen, we were sitting
Let me
there, she was
let me
texting me
let you see the
pictures.
dress.
I want to see it. Come on here. Yes. Yes, Janine Ingram. Janine be giving
I
legs.
dressed up for you, Tamar. I dressed
You
up
dressed
for
up
you.
for me, baby. I
Yes,
love
I did.
it. I love it. So listen, y'all.
I had took a whole shower and I sat in my little steam thing and I said, okay, I'm gonna be present. And I
I'm
was
gonna be
listening
ready for
to
timer.
Pate Namaha. And it was so beautiful.
Oh, I love it. I love it, y'all. It's a vibe. Janine and I are a vibe. So listen, Janine, I am launching again the 888 code. You actually, I think a few years ago, went through that infrastructure training, and we are getting ready to help some entrepreneurs get their business in order. And I want them to understand how holding grudges, holding resentment, being vexed affects their creative power and ability to move money. So, what was your experience?
Girl,
What
you
was
know
the
my
moment in your life when you realized if I don't let some shit go, it's going to mess up my bag?
oh girl, it was downloaded to me. Let me tell you. So I'm sitting in. Well, my life was a mess to be honest with you. My whole life was a mess. My money was funny.
Mm.
My man was acting crazy. My whole life was in a shambles. And I couldn't understand it because I'm like, God, I pay my tithes and I do all these good things and I'm such a good wife and a great mother. And I wish it was just that simple, right?
Yeah, I wish so. Mhm.
And Spirit said, what? You pay what? You think I really care about you paying your tithes and that's what it is? He said, and so I was like, it was like this voice in my head said, really, really. And
Mhm.
then the book I was reading, Tapping the Power Within, but it was the very first version. It was like first book, and this was before she was really known. I was sitting in the middle there, and there was no air in the room, so the book flew open to forgiveness. I'm like,
Ooh,
God, I don't got
what
nobody
kind of
to.
magical stuff you got over there with books
I said,
flying?
I ain't got nobody. I promise you, that book flew open to forgiveness, and I said, I ain't got nobody to forgive because I love everybody.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it wouldn't close. I tried to close it and I was like, okay, let me look. So in there was a forgiveness diet. It comes from A Course in Miracles. And
Mm.
she was
My
talking
favorite
about
book.
the procedures to, she and so I took the forgiveness diet, I read it. And so my whole life was in a shambles. I promise you. I was losing every single thing. I had the FBI coming to my door. I
Wow.
had the Mexican mob because I had just borrowed $100,000 and my business partner went to jail. It was just a mess. My whole life was a mess. And so I sat there and I needed to find a place to live because I was losing everything and I had to hurry up and find some place to live. And so I got still. I said, okay, let me do this forgiveness diet.
Mm-hmm.
It took me, was supposed to take.
Uh-oh, it's freezing on my end.
Get to the seventh day and forget to do the last thing. So if you forget, you got to start all over. So I
Hold
started
on,
all over
Janine,
and I
because
keep.
you froze for a second. Are you connected through your Wi-Fi or your Ethernet? Y'all hang tight because I want y'all to hear this testimony she got. But let me see what's going on.
Started to just come together. All because I sat
Janine,
in the
can you
stillness
hear
of what
me?
I had to forgive. And one of the things I had to forgive
Damn.
was the journey
Hold on, y'all.
that I hadn't done was let go of the residue that still held in the cells of my mind and my body.
Can you hear me now?
Is that you calling?
Yes.
Yes.
You were freezing, so we missed some of what you were saying. Are you
Oh,
connected through Wi-Fi or your Ethernet?
internet.
Oh, okay, okay. It
What I
was
need to do?
freezing, so I was like trying to say, "Hey, slow down," because we missed the part. So the last thing we heard you say, I said, "Let me call her on the live."
It's
The last thing
interesting. I'm like,
I'm
why is she
going,
calling me
listen,
in a minute?
listen. I'm going to my next level, and my next level is going to have a production team for these lives and stuff because the tech stuff be driving me crazy.
Okay.
But listen, the last thing we heard was about the $100,000 you borrowed from the mafia. Everything was in a mess, and then we missed you. You froze for a minute.
Okay. So I and my whole life was a mess. And
Mhm.
I told you the book opened up to forgiveness.
Yes,
And
and of
it
course
was
in
called
America.
Tapping the
Oh my goodness.
Morning, you have to do it before 12 o'clock in the afternoon and before midnight at night. And so in the morning, you go through whatever your mind tells you who you need to forgive. And then at night, all your 35 times is forgiving self. And girl, I promise you, it took me 30 days to get through writing what I should have did in 7 days. But I promise you, in the end of doing that forgiveness work, I had a check. I had everything was coming back together. Uh, Getting this thing, and I'm gonna put $100 in. Then I put $100 in for Brittany. When I got out of class after doing my forgiveness work, I had $1,600 in my account. I had another check coming in. It was just things just opened up. And so what I learned in that was my first time even associating that forgiveness had anything to do with my money. So then I'm like, oh, when I need me some money, I just need to do my forgiveness work. And then I had picked up a book by Charles Fillmore. It's a chapter 3, and the name of the book is called Prosperity. He said, if you're in debt, you need to forgive. And I was in debt.
Mm.
And I really needed to forgive because I'm in a lot of debt.
If you are in debt, you need to forgive.
Mm-hmm.
And so in this book, it recommended, it was called the Forgiveness Diet, 7 days of writing out who you need to forgive.
It recommended a forgiveness diet.
For.
And I started doing the forgiveness diet when my daughter was going away to boarding school, and I didn't have a dime to pay for her down payment, baby. I got into my forgiveness work and got a check for $10,000 to get her in boarding school. Didn't know how I was going to pay the yearly thing, but I tell you, when you take the first step, the rest is just God will do it. You know, I just don't know. Sometimes I wonder why God give you a vision, but then don't give you the provision until later. But I tell you, it is an opportunity to stretch, grow, your consciousness, and remove the karma and the things that keep you from living your best life. And so forgiveness, I've learned so much about forgiveness over the years. The first forgiveness is layers. You know, we've been taught, oh, you're supposed to give 7 times 77. No, I think you should have your righteous indignation. Yes. I think anger is important to honor. I think I'm not ready to forgive you yet. So I need to hold on to what I need to hold on to till I'm ready to let it go. But then when I'm ready to let it go, I need to, get it all out. And then I did a burning ceremony. Okay, I'm ready to let go of this stuff, but I'm going to get it all out. But I have a right to be angry. Yes. I have a right to feel what I feel. I don't have to just go straight to forgiveness. And I think so many times because our religion teaches us forgiveness and forgive. No, sometimes I need to let you know, or I need to even let it out of my, I call it my righteous indignation, my ability to feel my rage, because I think it's important that we feel what we feel and then give ourselves the opportunity to release, let go, and then go to the next level. But I can tell you one thing, each time I move into different levels, frequency with my money, I had to let go of previous thoughts and things that I had. I'll never forget listening to a class with JC. He said he had to let go of millionaire thoughts to go to billionaire, but he couldn't click into that billionaire stage till he truly forgave his father for not being the present and his mother. Tyler Perry said he couldn't get nobody to show up at them doggone place till the day he called his father one day and spirit told him to forgive. I'm telling you. Now, if billionaires are talking about forgiveness is what led them into the place of the promised land, then who are we not to do the blueprint? Because I believe success has footprints. And if they can forgive him and forgive themselves into the promised land, then honey, I'm forgiving myself into the promised land.
So let's break this down, because we have a mix of people, right? And I know a lot of my listeners that are following the movement are coming out of religious indoctrination. They're coming out of corporate America. And I don't think people always understand what happens in the brain and what happens in the heart when we talk about changing your state of mind, your mentality, right? I know Joe Dispenza mentions in his work that we only remember things with 50% accuracy. Science has proven you only remember things with 50% accuracy. So imagine replaying a specific narrative over and over again, and it's only 50% accurate. See, when we're talking about forgiveness, when we're talking about making room, put making room in the comments. It's time for me to make room. Everything about abundance and prosperity is about capacity. Are you the size container for the blessings that you are asking for? So here comes universal law. Here comes God the Father, God the Mother, coming to pour oil on your head, coming to pour money, coming to pour profitable relationships, but you're so full of a narrative and a memory that's only 50% accurate. You keep
Girl, you
replaying the
moving one step closer.
conversations. You keep replaying that moment. You keep replaying how it feels. You keep rehearsing how it felt. Your body thinks you're still in 1989. It doesn't know that you're in 2024. And then you wonder why your bank account balance is not the vibration of a millionaire, because your mindset and what you configure in your energy field is not reflecting millions, abundance, prosperity, room, capacity. And the thing is, and this is the other thing Joe Dispenza says that I want to throw in the mix, Janine, you will like this one too. Joe says, I call him first name because I feel like I'm the black female Joe Dispenza. I'm coming. Y'all wait for it. I'm coming. So he also says, when you are able to take the emotion of the memories and clear the emotion, what you get as a result is wisdom. Come on, Joe Dispenza. When you take the
You got to say that one more time. Come on, for those in the back that didn't hear it. Come on.
Come on. When you take the emotional charge and you take that out of the memory and you just look at the facts of your life, the result of being able to successfully do that is called wisdom.
But let me tell you what you just talked about, that when we take the emotional part, that let's scientifically break that down, because it's a little bit more deeper. Because you say, okay, how do I take the emotional? Guess what's a part of that? The parasympathetic nerve.
Yes, the parasympathetic nervous system. Oh man, it's freezing again. Y'all hang tight.
In the vagus nervous
Janine,
system.
you froze again. When you were saying parasympathetic nervous system, it froze again.
Oh my God, what is going on? Come on, Holy Spirit.
Activate.
So I said everything you
people. We might have to do this one again. So you were saying something about the parasympathetic.
I love everything you said.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I know. And I said, in order to move past that emotional piece, you got, in order to get past that, you got to relax the parasympathetic nervous system because when we're wound up in emotions, our parasympathetic nervous system is looking like this. Mm-hmm. And we got to relax it.
And our bank accounts be looking like this.
What the story is.
The bank accounts be looking like this too. Because everything is energy.
Right. And so, because you remember what Matt Kahn said. Matt Kahn said you cannot receive more than your parasympathetic nervous system allows you to receive in financial abundance. So that's the place where needs. See, I think we lose out. So let's talk about some ways to relax the parasympathetic nervous system. Massage, breath, and you got to be intentional in deep breath work. Music relaxes, baths, meditation. Mm-hmm. These are the things that help us to transcend past the memories that our parasympathetic cells and vagus nervous cells and the cells in our body remember, that holds into that emotional space.
Yes.
So we got to release it.
Not only that, I love all of those tips because those are things that I hope that everybody wrote down and you incorporate in your lifestyle. But the other piece is, let's be honest, let's have a confessional. We all know what we do when we get upset and we get vexed and we feel offended. How much time did you spend sitting on the phone venting? How much energy did you generate over being offended? And how much of that energy could have went to a marketing campaign that needs to be launched? Could have went to creating some digital content that you could sell online? Could have went to approving some contracts, submitting some grant applications? Are you a good steward of your energy? You are not entitled to certain levels
Woo.
of success and prosperity when you function outside of that vibration. What are you doing with your emotions? And how is it impacting how you work? It's not that there's anything wrong with your vision. It's not that there's anything wrong with your products or your services, but some of you are broke right now financially because of how you function emotionally. And within your 8-hour workday or your 4-hour workday, all it takes is somebody putting a nasty comment on your social media, or all it takes is somebody telling you they don't like how you did something, or all it takes, you're going to have to develop a certain kind of fortitude for certain levels of success. Do you think a Beyonce or Oprah got time to read comments and respond to every hater and explode their energy filled up with toxicity and trauma responses because somebody didn't say something they wanted to hear? Or do you think they about their bag? They develop a certain kind of emotional discipline. Focus is your superpower. It's not that the universe wants to deny you anything. I'm a child of God, and all I get is hell yes when I ask. I am God's spoiled brat. And I allow myself to configure and organize the energy. And I'm able to track it. And I can see, oh, when I'm over here spending time creating this narrative, the numbers, which are a spiritual coding system, do not lie and they change. But when I get back to focusing on my assignment and my truth of who I am and standing in my clarity, again, the numbers change and reflect exactly who I am and what I believe. The amount of money in your hands right now is a reflection of what you believe about yourself. And some of you are giving way too much energy to other people's opinions as if their opinions and the things they say or do that offend you can pay these bills. I got to tag Janine back in.
So let me just tell you what I love what you said. It reminded me of a book that Dr. Dennis Kimball wrote about.
Mm-hmm.
He went around and interviewed millionaires. And so on the Love Journey, which was a call that I did, I actually interviewed him. And I actually interviewed, it was called Millionaire Mind Conversation Cafe Fridays. And every Friday I would interview a millionaire. So he was one of the people. And we read this book that he wrote called Wealth Choice. Mm-hmm. And when he went in to interview John Johnson, who was the owner of Ebony and Jet magazine, I might be dating myself because nobody probably even know what Jet magazine is.
I remember Ebony and Jet. I'll date myself with you.
But anyway, John Johnson asked him, "Why are you not a millionaire?" And Dennis Kimball looked, he like, and you know what John told him? He said, "You can tell a lot about the health of somebody's bank account by how they love themselves." I was like, "Ooh, now what is that?" So I said, "Well, not John, Dr. Dennis, how does loving myself affect how my money is going?" He said, "Now this is deep. I want y'all to think about this, because you teach your money how to treat you, and you in relationship with your money. So if you teach your money to come in and go pay the baker, the butcher, and the candlestick maker, but you don't take the first 10%. And then let me tell you what else he said. To save for yourself, he said, you teach your money how to treat you by the thoughts you hold when money is in your experience. So you are
Yes.
experiencing lack, or I'm not good enough.
Yes.
It's the same thing that you have feelings about yourself. So, honey, when he said that, I had to hurry up and heal them low self-worth esteems and all that stuff, because my bank account was really showing me that I wasn't really loving myself. So I
Mm.
said, okay, if loving myself is gonna change my bank account, then y'all know, sister girl started loving herself.
One of my mentors, I love that. One of my mentors said that, a woman went into his wallet and was looking through it, and he was wondering, what is she doing? And then she handed the wallet back to him and she said, I love that your money is happy. Some of you listening, what compelled you to be on this live is that your money is angry. Your money is unforgiving.
Woo!
Your money is bitter. Your money is resentful. Your money is petty. Your money is drama oriented. And just imagine just hearing that language, what the vibration is. Everything is interconnected on some level. If you own a business and the way you function and operate inside of your business is cluttered with your trauma, your drama, your unresolved stuff, it makes it difficult to work. When I birthed my company, I was intentional about the culture of what it means to work within the womb sauna, not just what it means for me to work within it, but my staff, my contractors. What is it like? Is this a safe space? Do people feel heard? Why? Why is that important? Because defining these things and creating an infrastructure that's rooted in what is healthy versus what is toxic affects the flow of money. Could you imagine having disgruntled, unhappy staff? That affects the bag. This is why so many corporations right now are offering as an employee benefit spa services, mental health services. They done figured out that there's a direct correlation on the balance sheet between the energy that we cultivate here in this workplace and what actually hits the bottom line numbers of profitability. Why is Chick-fil-A so successful? Because people feel deeply cared about when they go through the drive-through. They feel appreciated. Everything is vibrational. So just imagine how your money feels when you sit in there giving all this energy to the negativity and you won't let it go. Forgiveness is a business strategy. It will absolutely surrender all negative energy and give you the opportunity to replace it with what feels abundant and prosperous. And you know what brings me the most money, Janine? When I am
Well,
in a
baby,
state
sex,
of joy.
orgasms.
Well, yeah, sex and orgasms get it done too. Yeah, dude. But joy. I have
Mhm.
made the most money when I'm able to sustain my joy. Joy
That's
has been getting it done for me. When I'm able to sustain my joy, ooh, that money moves. It moves.
so I said orgasms because I read this article this morning that said women who experience orgasms 3 to 4 times a week, especially before they go to work, earn more
Hmm.
money. I'm like, ooh, yes.
Listen, listen.
Get
No
your
wonder
orgasm
I'm
on,
so
girl.
blessed. Well, Susan Weed says women who get a minimum of 7 per week, they live longer and prosper. They have lower incidence of arthritis, dementia, and all of the major aging diseases that we get concerned about. Women who get a minimum of 7 per week don't have them problems. So I'm just going to go ahead and impart this to the listeners. I don't care how you get there. Get there if you can. Whether you get yourself there, whether somebody you love gets you there, whether a few of them that you love get you there, go ahead. And my definition of an orgasm that I teach in Power of Pleasure is how much joy you can hold in your body.
Come on, come on. And so what I say is how much joy you can hold in your body and how much joy you can hold around your body, because we don't
Mm.
understand about the energy that's contained inside, but the energy around us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the energy that surrounds all the energy of the feminine, and the sacred feminine energy is all about receiving. When I want more money and I desire, girl, so I wanted to meet, let me just tell you, just even today, I woke up this morning with this idea, and I said to myself, I want to meet this particular person who is a billionaire, and he's
Mm-hmm.
like one person away from me from 2 3 people. And I said I need to meet him because I need to sit down with him and I need to ask him some questions because he's doing a particular thing that I want to do. So I
Mm-hmm.
said, okay, I want to meet him. If I tell you God is good, Goddess is good, God good, money, oh girl. So I got on this call this morning, and so everybody was upset about this whole process about what's happening in our political system. I said, I love the fact that we have these conversations, but what I don't love is that we keep coming back to the same thing. There's no resolution. I said,
Mm.
I said, really, we need to talk about the grassroots level. So I was telling them about this 10-point plan that came to my mind that God downloaded, prosperity plan. And I was like, and I was running it down.
Mm-hmm.
3 callers later got on the call. Guess what they said? I want to introduce you to this guy who runs this particular program, but it's the same guy that God told me to have a meeting with. And then I called her and she invited me to his mansion
I
on
love it.
December 30th for his party. Now,
I
look at
love it.
synchronicity.
I love it.
All because, just learning how to pull your sexual, sensual, feminine energy in really is a powerful play.
It
Because,
is.
one thing that you used to say. And you used to tell us all the time about the feminine energy and the seat of desire. And you a poor feminine master if you can't bring in or conjure up what it is you need desire. Now that may have been not your exact words, but that
But
was
you got
basically what you.
it. Uh-oh. There you go.
Because when we learn to let go and allow our feminine energy and forgiveness, which is heart work, because forgiveness is not about the mind, it's about the heart.
Yeah.
And when we can forgive from the heart space, it's the ultimate act of love. And I tell you one thing for sure and two things for certain. Forgiveness holds no record of wrong, just like love does. Hold no record of wrong. And when you
Forgiveness
start allowing,
clears the record of wrong.
and it
It's
don't
an
hold
act
on
of
to,
surrender.
yes,
And I wanna frame this correctly. This isn't about giving people passes. This isn't about
no,
making yourself available to be mistreated. And I'm my antenna is up. I feel like there are people who have entrepreneurial trauma around partnerships and collaborating with people, and it fell out. Y'all fell out. It didn't work, and you abandoned the whole dream, or you tried to move forward. So if that applies to you, pay attention to what I'm getting ready to say to you. All forgiveness does is clear the energy of being offended. It has nothing to do with classifying who's at fault, who's responsible for what. The energy of forgiveness redirects your focus to something that is more joyful. It makes
say that
space
again. It redirects your focus to what?
to something that is more joyful, not so gloomy, not so heavy, not so sad. It's a decision before it is an emotion. Forgiveness is like the bridge that takes you out of the despair, out of the anger, out of the victimhood, and it allows you to walk across it right on over to joy and prosperity. So to not forgive is to make the decision to keep recycling the offense, to keep saying, I'm going to stay in this vibration of this experience as if there's nothing new available for you. Forgiveness makes you available. It's about activating a different capacity. That's why it affects your cash flow. That's why holding
Mm.
grudges and being angry and being stuck will drain the bank. because that's a constricting type of energy. But when you forgive, you say, you know what, let me take this off. There's more for me. There's more for me. There's a bigger experience than what I just experienced. There's other people than the people I just worked with. There's more opportunities. Why would I sit back and stay in this orbit when I can have the whole galaxy? Why would I just visit this one planet when I can visit them all? Forgiveness is a bridge. It's not about, we don't even care about who's right or wrong. We have expanded out of that. It's about who you choose to be in the moment, what you choose to focus on, and that is what brings in prosperity. It's fine tuning your vibration from one station to another. Just change the channel. Forgiveness allows you to change the channel. Put that in the comments. It's time
But
for
I
me
do think that
to channel.
what you feel.
Go ahead, say that again, Janine.
I do think you need time to allow yourself to feel like you feel. You know how they have stages of grief? I believe you have stages of forgiveness too. I believe that
Now, that's
there's
interesting. Tell me
levels
what
to
the
forgiveness.
stages of forgiveness are.
Well, I made it up, so it is.
That's why I
I
said,
don't
tell
think.
me. Put your sister on. What's the stages of
And the
forgiveness?
reason, I say that because I teach inner child healing and I do a lot of work around forgiveness. And
Mhm.
what I've learned through the journey of years of doing my forgiveness work with my clients is sometimes we need to hold on to space to validate my anger. You
Yes.
know, we and sometimes, like we think about when we were kids and our mother said, go tell them, go say you sorry. And you're not sorry.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't
Go
do that
say
no
you
more.
sorry right now.
Mm-mm.
And I said, but I'm not really ready. I'm not sorry. So why should I say I'm sorry?
No, you got to be authentic. So let's talk about that piece, and
Yes.
maybe that could be a part two, because where there is a lack of authenticity, there's a lack of prosperity, right? Because you
Right.
can't lie to the universe,
You
right? You
can't lie
can't
to the
lie. Your
universe.
vibration can't lie.
No,
So I don't
energy don't
believe
lie.
in bypassing the rage, but
Come
I do
on.
believe that you can be angry and forgive. Like you can
You can be
still
angry and what?
and forgive.
You can you so let's unpack that. You saying that I can still be angry and forgive you.
Yeah. Oh, this is getting good. This is getting good.
I,
I
I don't
believe
know. You
I
went
believe
out.
there
I
are
said you.
people, there are people I have forgiven right now and completely surrendered the whole situation.
But you
And
still angry.
I still, when I think of them, I'll be like, yeah, that motherfucker. You know what I mean? But
Well,
I don't hold
I'm
it.
gonna have
I
to
don't
think about
hold
that because
it.
I don't
I
know.
don't
I
hold
don't
it.
know.
For me, forgiveness is not um me returning to love. I'm always love. And love can be angry.
Yeah,
Love
yeah.
can have
But
boundaries.
forgiveness don't mean that I don't love you because I'm upset with
No, I love
you.
you. I
So,
could be upset with you and I can
but
forgive
it
you
is
all
an
at the same
ultimate.
time.
You can do what?
I said, I agree with you. You can forgive, you can be loving, you can love somebody, and you can still be upset with them at the same time. I don't think forgiveness is about your emotions. I think forgiveness is a decision. I choose to forgive you, I choose to let it go. And I still may have to process how I feel about that. But the decision has been made.
So I agree that there's levels to this to forgiveness. So yeah, when
I
you
need that
say it that
teaching.
way,
People
I
have
agree.
to do that and together and get
And
into
so
the
I
teaching.
have it. I wrote because I think sometimes we even need to grieve depending on what we're forgiving.
Yes.
Because sometimes my forgiveness to you sometimes is meaning that I may have to grieve this process of what just happened. So
Yes.
there may but to it, but I don't think every forgiveness act may have to go through all those stages. But then there's some stuff that's happened and it's deep, baby. And I'm gonna need to go through all these stages right here in order for me to
Mhm.
get to the place where I actually release. Because I also think releasing and surrendering is also another level of forgiveness. And I say that because I do forgiveness work like every so often. And one day
Mhm.
I just was so empty that I didn't really have anything or anybody to forgive. And then I remember the spirit gave me the idea that you don't need to forgive a particular person, but you need to forgive the residue of the act that's left in the emotional space of your body. And I'll give you an example. So in the
Mm,
forgiveness diet, it says, I, Janine Ingram, forgive whoever comes to my mind totally and unconditionally, right? Or
mm-hmm.
totally and completely, right? I, Janine Ingram, forgive Brenton totally and completely. And one day I just didn't have no names, but I still had, I, Janine Ingram, forgive the idea of feeling abandoned. So then it was characteristics of things that I had to release from my body, or I had to go, I, Janine Ingram, forgive the idea of low self-esteem or not worthy, all the stuff that left me with residue of it. And so I had to start, and so I called that a releasing. So I started
Yeah.
saying, forgiving, I, Janine Ingram, release the memories. So I'll give you an example, being in foster care, being molested and all that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
right? And really having to process a lot of that stuff in my, and even though I did forgive these different acts that had happened to me as a kid, but there was still residue of non-trust
Mm-hmm.
of the opposite sex. There was residue of needing to feel safe and protected when certain things were triggered. And I
Right.
realized that those things were lodged into the memories of the cells of my body. Because
Right.
remember now, the body keeps score. And the first place I learned that I had to heal the wound of my mind, the wound of my heart, and the wound of my womb. And then
Mm-hmm.
I had to heal the wound of my cell memory, because my cell memory was still holding on to the residue of what happened. So now I got to cleanse and renew the cell memories so that I can be renewed by the transforming of not just the mind that lives here, but the mind or the brain that lives in every cell in my body. And it was all because I had watched this 60-minute segment. Tamar, I know you would love this too, because the scientist was doing talking about this I forgot these trials that they were doing on cells. So a guy had throat cancer, and they rebuilt his esophagus with stem cells. And then they did a finger, and they rebuilt his finger with stem cells.
Oh
And then
wow.
they rebuilt a leg and an arm. And so the caveat of it was, to the scientist, the journalist asked the scientist, how does a finger know it's a finger? How does a leg know it's a leg? Esophagus noise, it was esophagus, and really the esophagus, the guy didn't have to have a trach, because his esophagus rebuilt itself, the finger rebuilt itself, the arm and the leg, and it
Wow.
rebuilt the skin. And he said something that was so poignant to this conversation to me, is that every cell has its own intelligence, and it know exactly what it's supposed to be.
So
That's what
that's a perfect example of what I was mentioning earlier, that we only remember things with 50% accuracy. One of the things I've been teaching my clients when it comes to this forgiveness work is to stop pedestalizing remembering. Learn how to forget. Learn how to let certain things go, because it returns you to yourself. And you need that energy to go out here and do some better things and experience some new things. I love that, as you shared, what you just shared, after you could no longer remember any names to forgive, it just, you return to yourself. My Baba would say it all begins and ends with you. You end up back with yourself. And that's what I mean when I say forgiveness is a decision. I can forgive it, let it go, move on, but I still process, I still heal, I still clear, things out of my body and stuff. But yeah, like sometimes we put too much value in remembering the past. The past is behind us. We can't alter it. So sometimes we should sacrifice the past on the altar. Like sometimes we literally should just say, here it is. I'm not even going to talk about my past glory. I don't even like to talk about my past successes. I feel the most powerful in right now. I feel the most intimate with the people who are right here, right now. They going to get my energy. So Where we place our energy, it magnifies things. It makes things bigger because that's how we are designed. And the whole point of this conversation tonight was to really get you to understand, people, what happens when you give so much energy and attention and focus to holding grudges, to not making the decision to cancel out the offense, to let it be what it is so you can go be something different, so you can become the version of you that's no longer in that experience. And you can set yourself free to go into some new levels, some new energy, and expand your capacity to receive. Especially for those of you that are women listening to me, the signature of the Holy Mother is the ability to receive. Our anatomy goes in for a reason. How can you take in more if you're so full of this old stuff you no longer need? You can decide. Healing starts with a decision long before you will feel healed and whole. Long before I became a mother, I declared myself as mother. I made the decision that I am a mother. I was so solid in my decision. I was buying myself Mother's Day cards for 8 years straight before my daughter manifested in my womb. I know what it's like to move in clarity. Once you make up your mind, that frequency is loud. These people you've been holding in your energy field because they made you upset and they offended you, it's loud. You can make a different decision and say, you know what, it's all good. I'm gonna clear this energy. I forgive you. Now let me go be a version of me that's no longer holding you in my energy the way I was. And your cells will obey that decision. Like Janine was saying, your cells will obey your decision to forgive, and so will your money. Your money will be happier. It'll be fonder of you because there's not this tainted energy that your money is like, do I really want to be here in this drama, in this resentment, in this anxiety? You get to choose every day how that day is. Every single day, you get to choose who you are going to be, what you are going to focus on, and how that day is going to end for you. So, Janine, I wish we could linger longer, but we got the Sacred Rage right after this. And maybe we'll have to come back and give the people a little bit more if they really resonate with it and need it. But is there anything else you want to add before we go?
Well, I wanted to know more. I want to unpack about the class that you're getting ready to do.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it so they can know about it and people can hear about your class. I want to first edify you as a teacher, as an educator, as a goddess, God presence. Um, and I just want to let whoever decides to sign up for your class that you always channel the energy of the spirits, the ancestors, and the goddesses, and the Eurishis. I mean, you just this is your lane. You definitely on purpose, in purpose, as purpose. And so I just want to edify. And let's talk about the class. And what can you give us some of the things that they will learn when they come to your class?
Yeah, so the class that's coming up, and thank you for that. So y'all know, like I told you, Janine and I are vibe. The reason why we're just flowing the way we are tonight is because we're genuinely sisters. Like this is how we talk every day. So sometimes in the conversation, I'm like, oh, there's people listening because we really just flow. And Janine has been such a blessing. She is the woman who told me, and when I heard it, I felt it in my womb. She said, Tamer, you are a gift to the planet. And I've been unwrapping myself ever since to make sure the world is blessed. So listen, the class starts 11/11. All right. And you get to spend 5 days with me in a business infrastructure training. What is that? I'm going to comb through day one. We're going to address some of the things we talked about. What is your entrepreneurial trauma? What are the traumas in your life that have been impacting your work ethic, your vision, your ability to wake up and show up for your dreams? So we clear that out on day one. You get day one, the other days we're done with it. Once we clear it, and I'm a thorough excavator. So once we clear it, it's gone and it gives you the capacity to work. It is a virtual work clinic. I'm going to comb through your budget. I'm going to comb through your day to day operating infrastructure. If I was an investor and I wanted to write you a check for $300,000 and I peek over to see how the business is operating, what am I going to see? What systems are you using? I'm going to audit your systems. I'm going to help you set up the right systems for your vision. What kind of content should you be creating? What is your lane of genius? Are you the OOO, the only operating officer doing all the things? And then you wonder why you're not getting all the results. You got to learn how to stay in your genius and outsource the rest. Right. And so I teach you these things. I teach you how to market. I teach you how to build the foundation and make sure there's no cracks so that you can eventually begin to scale and reproduce the success and have a sustainable legacy that you will call your business. And so that is what the 888 code is about. And I use spiritual principles to get all of your business operations and your structure in order. And so we start 11:11 and the class is almost full. All right, there's a few spots left. So those of you who want to come in, I said, Janine, you got to tell this to your community of people. Anybody who comes in referred from her, you just put her name on the enrollment form saying that Janine Ingram sent you to the 888 code and I'm cutting her a check. That's what I do in my sisterhood. You support me, you bring people to the work, I cut you a check because I believe money is a good gift and a great way to show gratitude. So all of you who are listening that Janine invited to this conversation, if this is resonating with you, please go to thewombsauna.com/events. Go and prayerfully and mindfully look at everything I've put together in the 888 code. Each day's itinerary is listed right there for you, and you're able to register right through there. And let's get you in this process and ready for 2025 because you can end this year ready. You can end this year ready. So Janine, thank you for being here and sharing.
Well, I'd like to just say one thing before we leave. I want to, I'm going to send it to you. I want to tell you something that Quincy Jones, and as we honor his, all the work he did as an ancestor now, the thing he's resonated with me that I think speaks volume to what you're talking about here. He said a lady told him one day his music could never go higher than his ability to move through forgiveness in his body. And he said when he heard that, he said he let go of bitterness, grudges. He started doing all kind of work to cause himself not to be in a space of unforgiveness. And so I put it on my Facebook page, but I'm gonna send it to you
Yeah, I
because
want to hear.
and it was such a powerful thing. He said, but it shifted his consciousness. Now I'm kind of paraphrasing what he said, but he said it shifted his consciousness that when he started to write music, it came from a place of pure spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how he feels that was the answer to his success, was his ability to move past grudges and bitterness and really operate in true spirit. And we know the work and the fruits of Quincy Jones.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people really know Quincy, but Quincy Jones was really behind the album Bad with Michael Jackson.
Yeah, and Thriller.
And We Are the World. Yeah,
Yeah.
Thriller.
The classics. Yeah, because he made room. Everybody, please don't miss what Janine just said. Please make sure you really, really hear it. Forgiveness allows you to make room. It will increase your capacity. And where there is a greater capacity, there is greater execution. Where there is greater execution, there's greater prosperity. So don't
Yes.
miss your blessing because of storing what you no longer need to store. Please let it go. Please start clearing that energy and make room because they're bigger blessings and bigger experiences for you.
Yes.
So we love you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for your patience with all the technical things that was going on. It's big energy these days, a lot of movement, but I'm happy that we were able to drop some jewels for you. If you heard something that was a blessing to you, just put the word blessed in the comment section, put that in the chat, say, yeah, we needed this reminder. We needed this conversation. Those of you catching a replay,
Let's do it.
I will comment and respond. Janine and I will engage with you in the comments, but we love you and we thank you for being here. For those of you who have signed up for Sacred Rage, we are starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in just a few minutes. So make sure you're in there if you haven't locked in. But we love you. And Janine, keep being great and getting all these awards and hanging out with billionaires.
Yeah. Yes, I can't wait to go to the mansion in the Bahamas.
I just love
when I was in there getting a shower, getting dressed, I said, what I'm gonna wear, what I'm gonna do, how I'm gonna walk in. I'm already there.
Good for you. Congratulations again. We love you so much. Thank you for your wisdom.
I love you too. Thank you so much.
Y'all have a good night.
I just love the piece of art that you have behind you. That piece of art.
That's one of my favorites.
My friend drew that.
Yeah, that's
a whack.
That's me right there.
You know that's a whack, right?
Uh-huh.
It's a whack piece, and that stands for Kevin A. Williams drew that. He went to CBS Chicago Vocational School. Yay! Sending love.
Represent Chicago. The mayor of Chicago know everybody.
You know he a Chicago person.
You go ahead and represent. We're going to put the C's up in Chicago right now.
Yes, I do. You want to come to Chicago, come through me.
That's the only way I'm coming. That's the only way I'm coming is through Janine Ingram, the mayor of Chicago.
And I'm going to show you a good time, baby.
Well, I love you, my sister, and I love all of you.
Love you too, baby.
And y'all have a good night. Peace.